Think about this question for a minute. If you were to run a 100-mile race versus doing a 100-meter race, how fast would you run for each of those? I mean, think about this. For example, if you run a 100-mile race, the length of that race, 100 miles. I mean, to my mind, that's mind-boggling. To some athletes out there, that's something that they love to do and they push for and they have a desire for. But in my mind, it seems like such a long distance. So to think about going to run a 100-mile race, if I was going to run a speed for that, I'm going to run super slow to try to maintain a speed that I can finish that race. And that same mentality is kind of the way that we look at goals in life. Typically, when we set goals, I mean, be realistic, we set goals that are large goals. We want to lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds. We want to gain 15, 20 pounds of muscle. It's not, we just want to gain a half a pound of muscle and lose, 3/4 of a pound of body fat. They're literally large goals that we have. So because they're such large goals, when we look at them ourselves, we start to think about how long do we think it's going to take us to get there? And then we put a number to that, right? Everyone has a different perspective of how they see it. So someone that wants to lose 50 pounds may say, man, it's going to take me a year to lose this. Someone else may say it's going to take me 6 months to lose this. Either way, you can see that there's a long journey behind that. 6 months, a year, if it's 2 years, whatever it is, they see us as such a long journey. So when they go to approach this goal, they actually approach it the same way they would a 100-mile marathon. They're going to go slow at it. They're going to pace themselves at it. And what's going to happen along the journey is because it's so long and it takes so long to reach your goal that it'd be the same format for myself to go run 100 miles. I'm thinking like, man, is this almost done yet? Am I almost at the end of this goal? Like, why is this taking so long, right? That's kind of the way that I would see it. That's how most people, I think, see goals in life. So they start to approach this goal a lot slower. And then they start to realize that, man, this is going to take forever. Maybe I'm going to kind of back off a little bit and, kind of start to slip in some of the foods I shouldn't be eating or take some breaks I should be taking. And because of that, they move slower towards their goals. And it takes longer to get there. So what if we can have a slight shift in the way we set goals and use it more of that Olympic sprint type mentality? The 100-meter race where it's like we know it's short and we can run it as fast as we can and then it's just done after that. I mean, even if we were to at a track meet, say, for example, have some kind of tri meet where we had 3 different 100-meter races we have to run, we're not running them consistently, right? We're not running 300 meters at a time. We're running 100 meters. We'll have a break and a gap before we run again against the next group of people and do another 100-meter race and then the same thing. But we know we give our all-out effort and then we have these gaps of rest and then we go at it again. So think about this. If we were to take a goal of, say, losing 20 pounds and we break that down to small chunks, maybe it's like losing 1 pound a week or even a half a pound a week. And you are going to take your week now and break that down into days. And then take that day and break it down even to smaller sections. You're going to focus on each meal and each workout. And you're going to go at them 100%, right? So we're going to take that one workout, that hour of that day, we're going to go at it 100%, and we're going to go all out like it's a 100-meter race. We're not going to look at the whole day because in a way that day can look like a 100-mile race, right? Instead of a 100-meter. So we can look at that day as being a long journey versus looking at 1 hour that day. We're going to go in there and attack it and move 100% towards that goal we're trying to hit. And if we can move at a sprint like that, we can go in there and 100% dedicate that time to go in there and work out. Think about the difference of changes that we can have in our mentality over time. If we can do that for each meal of the day and then do it the next day and the next day, imagine the results that you can get in a week. That goal you may have a half pound or even as simple as a pound may turn to 2 or 3 pounds. And you move towards your goal quicker because we look at things differently.